Do you want to know how amazing people connect? Well, you're in the right place. Welcome to Marketing with Russ, aka #RussSelfie.
Thanks for connecting. And if you like what you hear, please share.
Special thank you to our sponsors today of Marketing with Russ, Haugen's Galleries, and Gregory Home Team. For more information on the Gregory Home Team, go to sellwithgregory.com for all your real estate needs. And for more information on Haugen's Galleries, go to haugensgalleries.com for your personal branding and portrait photography. Good morning, everybody. Hey, or whatever time of day it is for you. It's so great to have everybody here today. I always got to remember, people are tuning in from all around the world, and everybody has different times. And, it's always very interesting to try to keep all that in your head so that you can keep communicating, which is something we're going to talk about today. Communication and this whole wonderful community that we have. I have an awesome guest today. Sherrie Burrell is with me. And, Sherrie has just kind of exploded into my life through this online community because she is such a great communicator and such a great community builder in all that she does. So we're going to talk to her in just a minute. I'm going to let her give you a little bit more information about herself. But first, I want to remind you, in case you don't know, my name is Russ Hedge, and I am your inspiration specialist. I'm here to inspire and encourage you to live a purpose-driven life of significance. I want you to be a world changer. I want you to be a difference maker. That is why I'm here. I also am a marketing and sales coach and also a business consultant. I can help you deal with internal employee relations, external as far as customer relations, if I can actually say that. Anyway, I can help you with all of your marketing strategies, things you need. But mostly, I want to be your friend. Mostly, I want to teach you how to build your community and build your customer base, build your ideal customers with a wonderful community of people that care about each other and that work together. So if you want more information on that, go to russhedge.com. All about me, russhedge.com has it all of my online links. It has things about my shows. I have several online shows, live stream, and also it has my email, my phone number, whatever you need. You can even schedule time directly on my calendar to talk with me, and that would be awesome. I would love to talk with you and get to know you better if we haven't done that already. So anyway, thank you so much for being here today. I want to remind you, I'm also the author of Befuddled, Live the Life You Choose, a book designed to encourage you and bless you. I had my 1-year anniversary since I published and released my book just this week. It was amazing. So many amazing friends from my community that came on that were such a blessing to me. And I want to thank everybody again for that. Such a great time we had Tuesday. And also just want to remind you that this show, again, is every Marketing with Russ, aka #RussSelfie, is every Monday and Thursday at 8 a.m. Pacific Daylight Time. You can tune in every week. And also, The Experience Live with Russ and Scott is every Wednesday at 7 a.m. Pacific Daylight Time. My third show, Russ Reels, rotates on times. And so really, you just kind of have to keep an eye on the times for that. One other quick thing, I'm starting a new live stream show next Monday at noon on the 15th. We're going to talk community, authentic community, and we're going to talk hope and love and how we can work together to build authentic community. And I've got a great co-host, Rob Yannicki, that's going to be on with me. We also have Carl Sean Watkins on that show. It's going to be great. So tune in next Monday at noon for that. And I think that is all. I think I've covered everything except for to say Happy Veterans Day. I want to just thank all of our veterans for your service, for all that you do, and appreciate each one of you. So with that, it's time to bring in Sherrie. I'm excited to get her in. I know she's excited. There she is, Sherrie Burrell. How's it going?
It's going well. Good morning and happy Veterans Day as well. I have a family of veterans in the family, so I'm really excited, and I thank them for what they do and for their services.
Yes, what a blessing. You know, the freedoms and all that we enjoy is because of people's sacrifice. And I appreciate that so much, so much.
Yeah.
So, Sherrie, I tell you, you're kind of a magical miracle to me. You came into my life through online. You were such a blessing. You know, you supported me. You've done so many things that have just been helped me build my community in the short time we've known each other. I feel like we've known each other for so long. We've been able to talk on the phone, talk on Zoom. It's been amazing. So listen, I know how amazing you are, but I need you to tell everybody a little bit about your background, where you came from, and what you're up to today.
I'm originally from Louisiana. I come from a family of business people. My grandfathers, they had restaurants throughout the country. I don't know the specific names, but I got my business sense from them, as well as my parents. My father was a tailor by trade, and my mother was a businesswoman. So this was back in the 1930s and the 1960s. So business run in our family. I'm grateful. You know, my aunt was the first Black police officer, as well as my uncle, first a Black electrician that was brought into the union. And this was back in probably the 40s, because I was born in 59. But I'm so grateful for them, because they were actually my masterpiece in designing what I'm going to do with my business and my life. And one of the things I do is I started actually 2 or 3 companies. I started with Women of Excellence back in the 1980s, which was an organization to help women go back to school from middle class to upper higher class, because there were always scholarships for people in that arena, but not enough for people to send their kids to school. And one of the things I did, I started Women of Excellence, then that turned into Sherrie Burrell Consulting, because I kind of got thrashed into the entertainment industry. So one of the things I do, I have over 35 years of public relations and marketing in management and entertainment. And now I started Burrell Worldwide, which is actually a combination of everything that we do. And I'm so grateful for being in longevity of doing this for the past 35 years. And Burrell Worldwide is basically an international public relations and marketing firm. And we specialize in entertainment management, business development, and negotiations. But as I said before, we've done it for so long that I just kind of can do it in my sleep at this point now. I'm so grateful with the help of my family, my brother who helped me start the business. He passed away over 20 years ago. And my family and my nieces and nephews kind of just stepped in and always kept me encouraged through whatever trials or tribulations I've been going through. As I spoke to you before, I spent a stint last year, dealing with some infection in my body, and ended up having 3 surgeries in 10-month period. And then after I got through that, I got COVID. So it's just got to be a journey for me to even be here talking to you today. And I'm so grateful for that, because I could have given up, but I had my strength, and God got me through everything I needed to do. And I'm so grateful for that. And some of the things we basically do is we teach people how to brand themselves. That's very important in your business. And one of the things I always tell people is if you're going to start a business, at least have $10,000 in the bank to start it, or be willing to risk whatever you have to move yourself forward. And one of the things that people get caught up in, they write a movie, they write a book, do a screenplay, start their business, but they have no legitimate marketing plan. And the marketing plan comes from you deciding what I'm going to do. But however, if you are not the person to do that, I always advise people, make sure you know someone in that arena, because that person can guide you through what you need to do and be able to pay them. I know we're going through a pandemic right now, so we have to scale down on some of our charges that we're charging people at this time. But I always say, don't do anything for free, but that's my scenario. One of my producer friends told me, he said, after age 40 years old, don't do it for free, because you're giving away information and people can take that and start their business. And then you have no credits or anything to show for. Now, I do believe in your 20s or whenever you're starting your business, you have to put in the time frame, the 2 or 3 years that allows you to build your business. Sometimes it happens overnight, sometimes it doesn't. Mine kind of happened a little bit because my main goal, I was thinking I wanted to be a doctor coming up, but then my mother got sick with cancer when I was 11 years old. So it kind of deterred what I want to do. And then I got thrown into the entertainment industry, which I'm glad to do, because I had to figure out, what are my goals? What am I going to do? What type of business am I going to continue to do and still be able to work with women of excellence? And then we brought in the men, because most of my sponsors were men. And I brought in Men Inc. So I've had a journey of 3 or 4 businesses over the past 40 years. And I'm grateful for all of the support, because most of the people that I work with, they're still working with me. I'm grateful for that. After 25 years, I still can pick up the phone and call whomever I want. But the journey of building your business is a tough one sometimes, and people don't realize that. And it takes you at least 3 years to get where you need to go. But most people want to put that time in. Bible says faith without works is dead. You have the faith to do it, but you have to get out there and do the work.
Well, you know, that's why there's amazing people like you, and God has really, truly blessed you with the ability to help other people do these things, because you're right. You know, first off, I want to say I'm so thankful and grateful that you're here, that you've come through all that you've gone through, and you're able to help people, and you're able to just really speak into their life and their business. It is so important to have a plan. You know, you talk about a marketing plan, you talk about a brand, and you really obviously are great at doing that as far as building branding, which is great. You also deal with helping people with negotiations. You have some tips on things like that?
I do. The art of negotiation is always get what you want out of the deal. I always say, if you need $1 million, ask for $3 to $5 million. You can come in the middle of that. And we negotiate every day, whether we go to the supermarket, whether we go anywhere, because we don't want to pay full price. And I'm a firm believer in negotiating. So you start with the steps of, I have a business project, and always make sure your business project is in writing, because you can pitch and have that 30-minute 15-second, I call it elevator pitch, but it doesn't always work if the person is going to the second floor. So negotiation comes in, one, introducing yourself, telling people what you're going to do. Why do I want to do this? And you always bargain. It's like bargaining for what you want to do. But you have to make sure you let the people know, okay, if you give me this $1 million, this is what I'm going to do. You have to always think on your feet. Right. 25% of your money goes to marketing and public relations. 25% goes to advertising and marketing. And then you also make sure you have money to do the project. You have to figure out what is the project going to be, how long is it going to take, and how long am I going to be able to advertise for the sponsors that's coming in. Because if Honey Nut Cheerios or any other Dove soap or anyone else comes in, then they want to know exactly where the money is going. And with that said, you also have to be able to let them know, okay, the sponsors are going to tell you, okay, I'm going to give you $1 million, but this is what I want you to give me. And so you have to be able to say, okay, you're giving me $1 million. Okay, I'm going to have Russ Hedge advertising, have Sherrie Burrell doing the marketing for me. I'm going to make sure all of the national radio and television shows are there. And in return, this is what I'm going to give to you. And you have to sit at the table and know exactly. And that's why you have to definitely put it in writing. I mean, my bad point is I keep everything in my head. That's not always good for some people. But my aunt, when I was 19 years old, she told me, you have a photographic memory and you keep everything in your head. You need to start practicing that to make sure you can enhance what you're doing. And I start practicing. So numbers, figures, faces. I can see someone run into someone from 30 years ago, and I can still tell them what they had on, what the conversation was, et cetera, et cetera. And you have to practice with that. You also have to practice with your numbers. Numbers are very important in your negotiation. And one of the things people don't want to do, and I advise everyone, make sure you take an accounting class or business financial class, because the gist of the matter is, with your business, you have to know your numbers. You have to know where your money goes. That's why you see a lot of people lose money when they win the lottery or they start their business, because they're not watching their accountant. You have an accountant and you have a backup accountant to find out what's going on. And then that negotiation process can go along, because, if it costs $100,000 to put on an event, you can't rely on your ticket sales to make that event happen. So you have to get the money, but you also have to make sure whomever, whereas it's Walgreens, Targets, or whomever, make sure that you have your numbers on point.
Well, that's why you need good people too that love that kind of stuff, because people like me are not numbers people. One of the first things I did was get an accountant to take care of things for me, somebody that can keep track of those things, because we're not all good at everything. That's where community comes in. That's where business partners come in. You're so good at getting people going in their businesses, supporting them, the business development side, helping people move their companies forward. Give us a little information on how you do that.
The business development side is basically going out there and meeting people and speaking with. You may not be the best spokesperson for your company, but make sure you find someone who can do that. One thing I'm really proud of is the CEO of Kaiser told me, you were one of the best business development people I've ever met in my life. And this is when I was younger. And you have to learn how to speak to people, hold their attention. You walk in the room, my pitch statements, as soon as I walk in the room, as soon as I speak to someone and they say, well, what do you do? I already know I'm an international public relations marketing firm specializing in entertainment management, business development. I have clients in Australia and London, and we work the United States. That was all of less than 15 seconds. When you can say what you do and people don't have to pull it out of you, you make sure that they know who you are, what you do, and don't say a lot. One of the things I always train people to do, don't talk about your whole life, because you don't have it. Most people, especially if you run into an investor or a celebrity that you want to come to your event, they don't have the time to talk to you during that event. Most of the time people say, well, I want to go to the award shows with you. I said, that's not the time to pitch your business when you go to the award show. So the business development part comes with building a clientele. You have to build your clientele. Most people, well, I shouldn't say most, some people only want to take the check. But if you're building your relationship with new business and clients, you want to have a relationship that's going to span beyond 5 or 10 years. So when you call them, you're just not calling for a favor. So you exchange business cards. One of the things I used to do, especially when I actually still do it, if I go to a networking event, I always wear a suit with 2 pockets. One pocket is for people I really want to do business with, and the other pocket is to make sure I throw those cards away. Because everyone is not going to fit in your agenda, and you don't want people just calling you and asking for favors. You're trying to build a relationship, and then after 5 or 10 years, after you've gone through the method of making sure you know that person, every year in January 15th, I send out my Christmas cards January 15th. The reason why I do that, because most people are sending Christmas cards to everyone, clients, and by the end of the year, they've thrown all of that away. When I send my cards out, and actually they're not Christmas cards, they're welcome to the new year. Let's see what we can do. I send them out on the 15th of January because pretty much that's going to be the only card that people get. And they're going to remember, and you're going to have to introduce yourself. You have to get yourself out there. Let people know exactly what you do and what you want. And don't be afraid to tell them, this is what I do. I see one of my clients online, and one of the things you have to do, you have to tell people what you want to do, and always have that friendly face. I don't want to deal with someone that's desperate for money and walk up, oh, can you produce my film? No, my question to everyone and statement to everyone basically is, don't ride off someone else's success, build your own.
That is awesome advice, and you have definitely done that over the years, because for those people that don't know, Sherrie is coming to us from Beverly Hills and is involved with people down there from the entertainment industry to whatever industries, and has done such a great job. And, I want to do something today, Sherrie. I didn't tell you I was going to do this, but we're going to bring in a friend of mine who has been busy building her business after a career in the military. And in honor of Veterans Day, the two of you need to meet anyway. I have my good friend, Emily Harmon, who's here with us today. Sherrie, meet Emily. Emily, meet Sherrie. Two great
we actually
ladies.
know each other.
We do.
Okay,
we met through your show, though, Russ, and I wasn't sure how to pronounce her name, so now I know Sherrie. And wow, such excellent advice that you gave in this interview, because I just recently started my own business, and I wasn't really looking at the numbers because that's annoying to me, and I don't really I don't like tracking my expenses and all the details, and so I did finally hire a bookkeeper, and now that I see everything, I'm like, oh, look at all those books I bought on Amazon. I haven't read them all yet. Now I'm not going to buy another book. I'm going to put it on my to-get list for later, because I've got a lot. I've already invested a lot of money in books. So it's just one example where you've got to know where the money's going. So much great advice. It applies to doing business with the federal government too.
And one of the things I advise people, because we're living in this pandemic and people have had to shift careers, is to write down, what is your strongest point in business? My strongest point was negotiations, but I had never put it on my LinkedIn account. And the minute I put it on my account, I landed this huge contract and didn't know it. So what you should do, Emily, is first of all, have one page, write down your business plan. Then write down 10 people you want to do business with by the end of the year, and say, okay, my goal, I have 6 weeks to make $1 million. Figure out who, never be afraid to pick up the phone and call whomever. When I first started my business, I was calling major corporations and asking for the president. I did this over a span of period. So now I can just call and people say, oh, we know who you are. And even with the entertainment industry, I walk past people and they say, oh, we already know who you are. And sometimes it stuns me because I know I have not met that person, but you should be your best pitch person and talk about, if you can't sell what your dream, then you can't expect me to dream for you. You have to dream. So put together a one pager, figure out what your top 3 strengths are. The first year is going to be your top strength. Someone told me this years ago. Your second year, you add another skill. The third year, you add another skill. Then you bring all those together, but make sure all three of those skills match each other. Negotiation, public relations, marketing, working with the entertainment industry, working with politicians, all of that comes together as one. So if you're going to start something from the military, or find out what, first of all, military people are strong. So you can teach life coaching, and like that's what's going to start me off. And then you bring something else in. The second thing I can think off the top of my head, talking to children of military, write a book on that. How does children cope with dealing with the military? Because one of the things people do, we look at adults and how we're going to be feeling, but we never ask the kids how they're feeling. And I actually did that with my family. I said, I was 11 years old when my mother got sick with cancer. Nobody to this day have asked me, how did I feel?
Yeah.
How did I maneuver? One of the first things I asked her, if you pass away, who's going to teach me how to be a woman? And when she died, that was the first thing that came to my mind. But God directed several women into my life who taught me how to be a woman, because my father, he could not do that. He could be there for me. We can be there. We know we're both parents in my home. Hard on him. You know, you have to ask people when you're especially when they're children, when they're dealing with death, no one asks them how you're doing. Or military families, how do kids feel not seeing their parents for a long period of time?
Right.
And, that is
down.
something that need to, if it's addressed now, it'll help them. Right. I had strong women in my life, but I also had to have the forethought to let them in.
Yeah.
To let them in my life.
Well, God has truly blessed you for sure.
How to maneuver. And
I think Russ needs
say that again, Emily.
I said so many golden nuggets. Russ always says, well, I think we're going to have a version 2. I don't know how many times you've been on this show, but I know you're going to be back.
Yeah, I was just going to say, Sherrie, that God has definitely blessed you. And, all that you have with the people in your life, and then how you pass that on, how you're blessing women and people all over the world, and the great business advice and practical advice. And really, it is all about, building relationships and community as we go forward. And I've appreciated you so much. And we are going to have schedule another time to talk more, because we're wrapping up already for today. But I want to, first of all, just say thank you, Emily, for coming on and, being part of this discussion here at the end, and representing really what today is all about. People that have, that have been in the military, that have fought for our country, that have blessed us with the freedoms we have. I want to thank you for that. And as we wrap up, though, I'm going to start with Sherrie. And Sherrie, have you give last words and how people get in touch with you, because people are definitely want to get in touch with you. So go ahead.
You can get in touch with me at www.burrellworldwide.com. And the address email is burrell@burrellworldwide.com. And my last thought for today is build your brand based on you and not someone else's dream. Your dream is your dream, and make sure you have numbers in place. Make sure you have your one-page business plan, and also create a sponsorship packet if you're going to have an event, and make sure you make the numbers. Negotiations, make sure you always ask for 3 times more than what you need, and you can come in the middle or more and beyond. And don't be afraid to invite media and entertainers into your full of clients, and make sure you're always kind to people, because they'll be kind back to you.
Well, amen to that. I agree with that completely. How we treat others. I'm a big Strong believer in the golden rule: treat other people the way we want to be treated. And so, yes, being kind. Today we can use a little bit more of that, right, Emily?
Yes, for sure.
So, Emily, I'm going to give you a last word and tell everybody how to get in touch with you.
Just connect with me on LinkedIn or my website, which is emilyharman, HARMAN.com. And I guess what I would say, my last word is, create a life that you really love living. And like Sherrie said, when you're looking to start a business or when you're looking to transition maybe to another career, make sure you know yourself and know what you love, because then it's not work. And a lot of times what you love is what comes easy to you. So you may undervalue that because it's so easy. Like, who would pay me for that? But that's your strength, maybe not theirs. Yeah.
So tell everybody the branch you were in and how many years you served.
I was in the Navy and I served 20 years in 7 on active duty, 20 in the reserves. And then I also served the Navy as a civilian. So my total time working for the Navy, including college, I went to the Naval Academy, is 38 years. Long time.
Well, and you're only 39. How did that
happen? Who knows?
Yes. And Sherrie, you've accomplished so much in your 39 years. It's amazing. I think she froze.
I'm grateful. No, I'm actually grateful for that. When you said 39, I'll say, okay, I'm not 39, I'm 62, but 39 plus in business has been great and awesome for me. And I'm so grateful that I got to where I needed to go, without having this parent there. I wish I have been there to learn a little bit more from her, but her family and her sisters always tell me that, I got my business sense from her, and I'm so grateful for it. And in my family and the area that I grew up in, it was because unfortunately I did grow up in segregation time, but the entire community where I grew up was Black-owned businesses, and so I saw that. So it wasn't hard for me to start my business because I already know the steps that it took to make sure that you get where you want. And I didn't understand when I did come to California, it was not like that, but that's what I saw. And I'm happy that now they're talking about Black Wall Street, because that was out there, but a lot of people didn't see that. And we do have wealth. I mean, we have to build our wealth, and people, they work hard, and you always have to make that shift. If you see entertainers like LL Cool J and different people, they start off as rappers, but you see they're producing now, they're making their own movies, and that's great. So you have to learn how to shift when things are not going the way you want to, because the life expectancy pretty much of an entertainer is 2 to 3 years, but they have to keep reinventing themselves. And it's the same way in your business. If you don't reinvent yourself, your business is not going to survive.
That's right. That's right. Well, life is short. We've got to take advantage. You have done an incredible job. I appreciate you so much. Thank you for being on today. We will definitely have to do a part 2 coming up in the future. And Emily, thanks for dropping in, celebrating Veterans Day today. Thank you. You both are a blessing to me. I appreciate you.
Thank you for your service.
Okay. I'm going to send you guys out to the green room. Hang on a sec. Hey, everybody. Thank you so much for tuning in today. Another exciting episode of Marketing with Russ, a.k.a. #RussSelfie, where we have amazing people who connect, like Sherrie Burrell, who was on today, who has just become a good friend so quickly, and Emily Harmon, celebrating Veterans Day today. Thank you so much for all who have served. Thank you so much for the freedoms that we have today and enjoy. Appreciate everybody today. Don't forget, we're here every Monday and Thursday on Marketing with Russ, a.k.a. #RussSelfie. So blessed to have you all part of my community. Have a great day and a great life until we see you again. Adios. Bye-bye.
Thanks for joining us for this week's episode of Marketing with Russ, aka #RussSelfie. Be sure to subscribe in your favorite podcast app so that you don't miss a single episode. Have an amazing day.